King Hussein of Jordan was married 4 times in his lifetime. But would you believe if I told you that his current wife, Queen Noor, didn't know about his secret affair with a Jewish Hollywood actress until he died? Oh, sorry, not just an affair. King Hussein also had an illegitimate son with her in addition to his 11 children with 4 other wives. So, what about the secretive mistress? Why are there no records of her anywhere? Where and how did they meet? And why didn't King Hussein marry her if they were deeply in love? This is a love story that will leave you both shocked and agonized. Welcome back to Never Ending Celebs. As a member of Jordan's royal family ever since it began in 1921, Hussein was the 40th generation Muhammad. At the age of just 17, he ascended to the throne in 1952 and swiftly gained recognition as one of the most respected monarchs in the Middle East, far beyond what one would expect from an ordinary teenager, I would say. During his reign, King Hussein worked hard to make Jordan better and improve the lives of its people. He wasn't just focused on Jordan though, he also earned respect for his skills in dealing with other countries, helping to keep peace in the region. Apart from his image as a leader, his personal life was nothing short of a hot topic. As I mentioned, he was married 4 times. Until his final marriage with Queen Noor, each of his previous marriages captured public attention. But what stood out the most was his secret affair with his Jewish girlfriend. If I have to describe the king in one sentence, he was a man of the women. Whenever he broke up with one of his wives, he quickly found another one. This might explain why he had a secret girlfriend that nobody in the royal family knew about until he died. When King Hussein was only 19, he got married for the first time to Princess Dina, who was 26 years old. She was from Egypt and was actually his cousin. I know it sounds extremely wrong, but trust me, marrying your cousin is actually common in many parts of the country. Plus, the two weren't close, which made things slightly better, I guess. The couple had a daughter named Princess Alia, but sadly, their marriage didn't last long. The couple had it all: money, a beautiful kid, fame, and power. But the pillar that makes up a strong marriage, love, was absent. Their union was more like a business deal than a real marriage. However, King Hussein didn't have a hard time with divorces, as he always seemed to have a new woman in his life as soon as the old one left. Sometimes even when the earlier one was present. His weakness for women was something that both his partners and his enemies could use against him. This became clear in 1959, when King Hussein went to the United States. He wanted to make sure that Jordan kept getting help from the United States after losing support from Britain, which used to be in charge of Jordan. The UK had stopped giving money to Jordan in 1957, which brought financial strains on Jordan. At the time, young Hussein was only 24 years old, but he made a big impression on the important people in America. The officials were impressed by his personality. Even the New York Times spoke about him on March 28, 1959, referencing that he might become a strong leader like his grandfather one day. As a young and single 24-year-old king, Hussein had a strong desire for love and companionship, particularly from attractive women. According to the 3-page document from the CIA, it was revealed that King Hussein was especially desirous of female companionship during his Los Angeles visit, and it was requested that appropriate arrangements be made through a controlled source of the office to assure a satisfied visit. And for the king's satisfaction, the CIA set up a meeting with a 32-year-old Jewish actress named Susan Cabot. This is where the two lovebirds first met. This eventually led to a relationship between the actress and the king. But hey, did you notice that King Hussein seemed to have a preference for women who were older than him? Well, we all have a type, don't we? Anyway, from their first meeting, their love story began at a lavish dinner party in Los Angeles, hosted by a wealthy oil tycoon named Edwin Pauley. Before heading to the party, Cabot was instructed by her manager, "We want you to go to bed with him." However, Susan, being a quality woman, swiftly turned down this request to protect her dignity. Nevertheless, she still decided to attend the event to get to know Hussein better. Cabot, whose acting career was brief, starred alongside renowned actors like Lee Marvin, Tony Curtis, and Rock Hudson. She reportedly described Hussein as the most charming man I have ever met. Well, it's not hard to understand why she felt that way. But guess what? The feelings were mutual. A few days later, the king reached out to the CIA, asking them to set up another meeting with Cabot, this time in New York City. During his state visit from April 14th to 18th, 1969, agents arranged for King Hussein to stay at a beach house on Long Island, while Cabot stayed at a nearby hotel in New York. Thus continued their secret affair, which lasted for about 7 years. However, things weren't as secretive as they would have preferred. Their relationship became the favorite gossip during that time. Cabot became curious about how certain personal information, which she thought was private, ended up in the media. Believing it was leaked, she turned to the CIA for help to stop the rumors circulating in the tabloids. After realizing that the matter was getting out of their hands, they eventually ended their affair officially in front of the world. But why couldn't Hussein marry Susan? The main hurdle in their relationship was the difference in religion, because according to the memo, being in a relationship with a Jewish actress could have caused serious political problems in his Muslim hierarchy. I mean, they were from totally different worlds. Cabot was known as a B-list actress in the 1950s, while her partner was destined to become a king. However, Susan was a strong woman who had seen a lot of pain and suffering from a very young age. Right from the start, Cabot had a really tough upbringing, growing up in 8 different foster homes after her father left and her mother was institutionalized. These experiences left her with emotional scars, contributing to post-traumatic stress disorder and making it challenging for her to form stable relationships. Maybe that's why she ended up marrying her childhood friend, Martin Sacker, when she was still so young. She managed to find a job as an illustrator for children's books and also earned money by working in theater and singing. Then, she started her career in movies in the 1950s and quickly became famous, mostly for starring in Hollywood westerns. After divorcing her husband in 1951, she began dating King Hussein of Jordan almost a decade later in 1961. In 1964, they had a son named Timothy Scott, who was later considered the king's illegitimate son. You might think that back then, this could have caused a huge scandal, but surprisingly, they managed to keep it all undercover. Another undigested twist is that in 1961, King Hussein of Jordan married for the second time to a British woman named Toni Gardner. She was only 18 at the time, and she became known as Royal Highness Princess Muna, which translates to King's Desire. They had 4 children together, and their oldest son, Abdullah, who is now the King of Jordan. Despite being married to Toni, King Hussein and Susan Cabot apparently continued to see each other. The two had an extramarital affair. However, due to his habit of changing women as frequently as clothes, Hussein and Susan's relationship ended. This time, he fell head over heels for a woman of Egyptian heritage, who happened to be the daughter of Jordan's first ambassador to the United Nations, known as Queen Alia. This happened just 3 days after his divorce from Princess Muna was finalized. In 1972, Princess Alia became his 3rd wife, and around the same time, Susan Cabot also moved on from the king and married her second husband, Michael Roman. Together, they raised their son, Timothy Scott Roman. Throughout her life, Susan Cabot kept the identity of her child's real father a secret. She reportedly told her friends that he was the son of an English diplomat she was briefly married to avoid revealing that he was illegitimate. On the other hand, King Hussein's personal life was quite happening. Before the tragic death of Queen Alia, he had 2 children with her. Now, as colorful as the king's life was, he once again found new love, perhaps the longest lasting of his life. His 4th wife, Queen Noor, was of American descent, and together they raised 4 children and shared a life for 21 years, until the king passed away in 1999. However, Susan Cabot's life was far from blessed. She left her acting career behind early and divorced her second husband in 1983. Her only companion was her son, Timothy Scott, who suffered from pituitary problems and dwarfism, which limited his height to 5'4". It must have been tough for a guy to deal with short height, especially back in the day when talking about things like this was a real stigma. So he turned to steroids to tackle his dwarfism. He resorted to getting injections of growth hormones 3 times a week to help him with his height. But those shots weren't just messing with his height, they were also messing with his hormones and mood, making him extremely aggressive. And if that wasn't enough, the poor actress who gave up her career was dealing with her own struggles. Worried about her son's condition, she sank into a deep depression. And let me tell you, it was one thing after another. The situation got so out of control that she ended up needing help from a psychologist. Her son couldn't be much of a support either, considering he was dealing with his own issues. Suddenly, in 1986, the unthinkable happened when news channels reported that the body of Susan Cabot was found lying in her bed wearing a purple nightgown. Blood covered the floor, ceiling, and walls where Susan lay dead. No one knew what exactly happened. Through investigation, it was confirmed that she was forced to death with a weightlifting bar, no less, by her own 25-year-old son. During the trial, Timothy shared the harrowing details of what led to this terrible event. He explained that his mother had woken up in a strange state one night. When he tried to call for help, she attacked him with a bar and scalpel. In a desperate act of self-defense, Timothy wrestled the bar away from her and struck her several times in the head. However, when the police arrived, Timothy concocted a wild story, claiming that his mother had been killed by a burglar with curly hair who was dressed like a ninja. It seems like Timothy's imagination was very much inspired by Hollywood movies. But you know how it goes. The truth always finds its way to the surface sooner or later. Timothy was eventually convicted of manslaughter and got 3 years of probation. Plus, he also had to see a psychiatrist for treatment. Amid all these crime scenes, King Hussein's longtime secret was also revealed. During the trial, Roman's lawyer dropped a bombshell. Evidence that showed Susan was getting $1,500 a month from the King of Jordan after his first wife passed away, which cleared the fact that the king was already aware of his illegitimate son. The lawyer even pointed out, there is written indication in the handwriting of Susan Roman. This money is from a trust. For better or worse, it looks like child support. The Jordanian government didn't say anything about the claims regarding Roman's father, according to the Times. Then, in 2003, Timothy also died from the illness when he was only 39 years old. Maybe that's why King Hussein never mentioned Susan Cabot or her son in his official biography. Whenever you search, you'll always find information about King Hussein and his 4 wives, but not a single word about his secret affair. What do you think about this story? Do you think Susan's ending was fair? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want us to reveal more secrets about the royal family, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.